forgot my stand. Hang on a sec. Good morning, good morning. Hang on 1 second. We're going to overheat. I got to get my cooling stand. 1 second. High-tech cooling stand, a couple of tape dispensers here. It's hot in here today, August, and if I don't stand this off the table, we're going to have a heating problem. 3 cameras streaming, it's too much for this CPU. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we are, Monday morning, last day of my week. And the last day for quite a while, I think, on carving on this octopus. We'll finish this up today and then move on to another project. Should be a quiet stream here this morning. It's a quiet day in Asakusa. Monday morning was a busy weekend for both us and for Asakusa outside. We're in a heat wave situation here now in Japan. It's been rainy and drizzly all summer long. But finally it's cracked and we're now in the same heat wave situation that many other countries have found themselves in this summer. It is blisteringly, boilingly hot out there day after day after day, at least this part of Japan where we are. I read in my newspaper, because this is the same season now as the Olympics next year, they've been doing a bunch of tests. They've been doing they've had a trial marathon and trial events and this and that to try and see how those things have been affected by the heat, and they're trying different ways of mitigating it. So we see every day in our newspaper some more reports of this kind of stuff, success or failures of these different kinds of testing for next year's Olympics. I'm kind of curious about why that's all of a sudden a thing now. I mean, the Summer Olympics have been going on in the summer for many years. What's the big deal? Why suddenly has this become a problem? Comments. What are we going here? The usual crowd. Papers out. Thank you. 3 packs. Today, Dei-chan is printing a back issue of the Yokai Face-Off prints. The Invisible Man Running in the Rain. Suga-san is doing, she's still working on her run of Fox Moon, the second run after the mold problem last week. And she's doing one of our Hagaki clubs, the bird and locust, the dark blue print. So she's doing 3. So all the paper is out, yes. What's fridge got today? So there's a wood block. he's holding up a wood block. The wood block, the next block I'll be working on. If I did get a chance to finish this today, which I can't imagine I will, if I did get a chance to finish this morning, that's the block I'll be pulling out to start the next project. So the fridge is in a supporting role today, literally. Made some progress the last couple of days on the video. You saw me recording, was it Friday morning here? I guess there was no carving stream Friday because I was recording the next YouTube video, and it's in the can now. It's all, I don't know, not just in the can, I mean it's actually edited and all put together, all ready, and I can't upload it yet. Actually, I got a bit of my timing mixed up here. During the last couple of weeks, while I've been waiting for Markus in Finland to work on the font, I should have been actually preparing a bit more of the video. I didn't do the video recording until he was finished because it made more sense to wait till he was done and he sent me a video clip to put in and stuff like that. So I couldn't have done my recording until he was finished. But what I could have done while I was waiting for him, I could have done the bit at the end where I show the books. You know, recently in these David's Choice videos, I realized over the past year or so that for these videos I have been talking too much and not showing enough of the actual prints or books themselves. And people started to, and complaints the wrong word, they started to let me know about this. Dave, show us more of the stuff you're talking about, but we can't see it. So in the last few David's Choice videos, I guess starting number 7, I can't remember exactly, what I've been doing is, after the talking and explanation, we show some very slow movie clips or Ken Burns panning over the prints or something like this, just to give people a chance to see the actual book itself. So while I was waiting for Markus-san to do his little video clip and stuff like that, I could have actually been working on that part of it, but I didn't think ahead that far enough. So anyway, long story short, so last week I got the final information from Markus, did my recording on Friday, and then Friday evening and Saturday went ahead and did the video editing. It's 30 minutes long. It's 20 minutes of talk and explanation and showing a little bit of this and that. And then the last 10 minutes, a full long 10 minutes, are slow pans and stuff like that, close-ups of the actual book pages themselves. But once I got that in the can, I realized that there was another step to do, because 10 minutes of slow pans, it's total absolute silence for 10 minutes. And it seems really strange. It doesn't seem right. It needs something else. Now, I didn't want to narrate anything there. There's nothing for me to say. And here we have a blue pigment, and here we have a poem. There's nothing for me to say. Just keep quiet and look at the books themselves. I've done all the talking in the first 20 minutes. So it needs some kind of background music, I guess, you know. And I should have been thinking about that while I was waiting. You know, the last few weeks I could have been thinking about this and planning this and getting it ready. But I was too stupid to think about that. So it just came up Friday and Saturday night. There it is. There's a video already. Play it back, Dave. 10 minutes of dead silence. So I started looking around for how to solve that problem. And you can't just copy and paste music. And of course, YouTube is extremely strict these days. In fact, our experience with music on YouTube, I think there's a total of 4 videos in our channel that use music, all of which I licensed properly. And yet all of which, every one of those 4 videos that has music, all of which had copyright claims against them, even though I had actually done the thing properly, licensed some music for it. Because it seems like there's a whole internet full of trolls out there that any video that goes up with music that's not identifiable, they download the music, put it on their own channel, and then make a copyright claim against it. And you have to go through the whole rigmarole of fighting the YouTube robots and trying to convince them that your video is the legit one, as opposed to the other one, which was the claimant. And that's happened to us every single time. The first time I did it, this is about 4 years ago, I used music that was built into Apple's video editing software. The iMovie suite that I used has some audio clips, little short music clips to use. And it says these are copyright free, use with your video, blah, 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 blah. That's the specific reason for them including it. So I used one of those. Half an hour later, or whatever it was, bang, copyright claim comes in against it. And so I basically avoided using music in all of our videos. It's just such a headache. We don't run ads on our videos, but one of the videos done from about 5 years ago back in the OMA workshop does have ads running on it. It's not by my choice. I filmed one of the printers working in Ome, and she had her radio on in the background. And I was a bit worried this might cause a problem, so I turned the audio down as much as I dared, just to leave a tiny bit. You can basically hear, I think there's a radio on in the background. Bingo, video goes up, Sony Pictures makes a claim against it. And I have two choices. I can take the video down, or I can allow them to run ads on the video and take the revenue. So there's one of the ads on our channel, one of the videos on our channel that does run ads, and the money goes to Sony Pictures. All because there's a faint, tiny background of some little something in the background. So anyway, what I've done now is, now that the thing is ready and edited, I've written to one of the young men who did the music for us on a previous video. If you might have seen a previous David's Choice video, David's Choice number 4, it's the Favorite Flowers book. I ended that video with 10 minutes or so of panning over the book, and I used a music track that I had found on a place called CC Mixter. And the idea of that place is different composers put up tracks and they're asking, please use this on your video. So I did. Of course, I selected it, wrote to the guy, paid a royalty, and put it in the video. So I wrote back to the same guy this time, asking if he could prepare something for this one. So I'm waiting to hear from him now, so hopefully that won't take too long. Comments, I'm missing everything over here, am I? I need camera to help read this stuff for me. Where am I? I've missed a lot of this, I'm sorry. Did old school carvers use his lens or something? Well, stuff like this didn't exist back then, of course. The carvers were practical people. Whatever technology was available during their time, they would have used. In the Hokusai manga, which is like, 1812 or 1814, somewhere around there? I can't remember exactly, I'm sorry. There's one of the little small pictures in the Hokusai manga of a wood carver carving. He's got these little tiny round glasses on. So yeah, 1812 or whatever, it was still happening. And by the time larger lenses came along, I'm sure they came into use, absolutely. Someone's mentioning music. I'm a producer, let's use some of my music. What I'm looking for this particular case is we've got 10 minutes of slow panning over images. So I want no music that's actually boom chaka, no beat, no vocals, no nothing. It's like really airport stuff or something. I just want clouds. And in fact, when I wrote to that young man yesterday about, I can maybe post this link here. Can I do that? What I've got is, about 20 years ago, there was a website called mp3.com, and it was where different composers were putting up stuff, saying, look at my stuff and then hire me to do this. mp3.com. I don't think it exists anymore, or it's been eaten by whatever else. This is really 20 years ago. And I browsed that site a long time ago, nothing to do with video production, but I browsed that site just listening for interesting music. This is when we're early on the internet. This is like 1997, 1998 or something. And one of the tracks that I downloaded at that time from mp3.com, which says, please download our stuff, blah, blah, blah. I downloaded it, threw it in a bucket on my computer, full of random music. So I have no idea who wrote it, no idea what it is. I looked in the mp3 tags, there's nothing in there. And it's perfect for what I want for this one. Let me see if I can find a link to it here. Just one sec. Play you this track. Here it is. Okay. What I did was, when I wrote to this young man yesterday about, do you have any music that might be suitable, I made a link to this one to show him, here's the kind of thing I have in mind. So there's this track here. I'm going to give you a link to it right now. I've temporarily hosted it on my website. I don't own this music. I have no rights to it. Don't steal it. Just whatever. Just listen to this if you've got a minute. That's the kind of stuff. It's not even music, really. It's just ambient sound. That's what I want for this next video. The poetry question. In the Swords and Flowers books, what do you think about the poems as opposed to the prints? It's of its day. I talked about this in the video. You heard me talk about this on Friday. the British people who were translating those poems were writing them into a form that British people of their time would understand, both in the structure of the poetry and in what they expected to think and feel about Japan. So that book now is very much an artifact of its day. Reading those poems now, you've either just got to shake your head or you've got to laugh. There's no way to look at them critically in any contemporary sense. All you have to do is think about this is how it was done back in that time, and that's the view that this culture had of that culture. And I don't know if when you see the video here, I put some of the poems in there. Should I be criticizing? There's one about a guy. Remember, these are blossom poems and sword poems. And there's one of the sword poems, you'll see it when you see the video. The narrator of the poem, he has swords. They are in a storage box. And the basic thing about the poem is, just wait. We can't do this right now, but just wait, your day will come. And it's a repulsive concept, somebody who wants to get back to war. But whatever, as I said, I'm showing these books not because I agree with the emotional content of everything in them, as beautiful objects of their time. And I think we can talk about historical stuff in a historical way without assuming that I think the same thing. Anyway. Can you share? Yeah, I'm okay. I know. Go ahead. Show. Talk about your stuff. Laser flick fluid. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Talk to us about this. We're not worried about people self-promoting their stuff here. This is communication and conversation. The thing that I liked about that track that I posted was that it's both repetitive and yet not repetitive. You haven't listened to it yet. There's like 17 minutes of it. But as it moves along, other themes do come and are introduced and develop. So it's got a repetitive, floating away feeling, but it also does evolve as it goes along. It's not totally boring. Oh my God, here we go around the loop again for the 50th time. So it's looping, but not looping. Where should we go here? We've got 3 columns here. They really packed in this stuff at the very end. They came down this column. He was desperately running out of space. So what did he do? I'm not even sure which way. That column comes down here. Does it run down something off to the left and something off to the right? It's just smacked and smushed into place here. And as for the music thing, I'm not desperately searching for something free. I know in the cases I've used music before on the videos, I have paid. I've happily paid a reasonable, what I thought was reasonable and what they thought was reasonable royalty to do this. I mentioned going to CC Mixter for that last track. And over there, those tracks are all, they all have little signs and symbols, what's available. And the particular one I chose turned out to have a symbol that said Creative Commons free, whatever, go ahead, use it as you wish for anything you like, just give us credit, including commercial use. But even though it said that, when I wrote to the guy, I said, look, I'm doing this to promote our business and make money. It's not fair to use your music for this, so can we make a payment to you for this? And he said, well, you don't really have to, but we did. We made a payment to him because, it's not fair to use his music to improve the quality of our thing and bring people in the door here, some of whom will buy print. So I'm not looking for a freebie here. We're happy to pay. I couldn't imagine anything more unethical than ripping off some guy's music. At the same time, we're taking money from Patreons to support our business. It's going to be a stinker hot one today, you know. I've got the air conditioner on already, and yet there's sweat still running down my face here. It's going to be a stinker. Cameron's going to come in here. He's going to think I haven't even turned it on. He's going to go back there and try and see what's going on. Fishing, fishing, fishing. Oh, somebody out there. See what happened? He was walking down, he caught a glimpse of the Mario. Backed up. This happens all the time, all the time, all the time. You're talking about the ambient track with the printing sounds and the music. This is something you should talk to us about. Talk to Cameron Sound. Cameron is preparing a new video series for us. We've chatted about this a little bit. It's still in early preparation stages. You know, he wants to really get going on it, but like normal work is getting in the way. But as part of this video series, he wants to incorporate the actual sounds of the work. There aren't many sounds here in the carving stage, but at the printing stage, there's brushing sounds, barren sounds, ding, pigment sounds. And he has already recorded a bunch of these sounds, ready to use them in these videos. So if you're interested about this, recordings of the printing sounds, whatever, write to Camera. He's here. He's hilker@mokohankan.com. You can talk to him in a few minutes when he gets here. Get him involved in the conversation, and maybe the two of you can cook something up. Who knows? But he is already thinking in those terms, and he's already actually started to put things together. And if you're curious about following up more, there is a recording on my website that I prepared, a million years ago. If you go to woodblock.com/diversions, and then look up the soundscapes section, there's a recording in there of a soundscape that I made while doing the printing of one of the prints in my Solitude series. And then I made two recordings. I made one recording first to show you, here's the brush sound, here's the barren sound, here's the ding sound, here's that sound. And then I did the soundscape with the sounds in it. So you can see and hear some of those printing sounds, woodblock.com/diversions, and look up the soundscapes section. Sibilance, soundscapes section, blah, 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 blah. A couple of places they look broken, but actually they're not broken, it's just a copy here. That one is separate. Not sure what that is. I understand that character. I don't understand that character. And I think we've got the same thing here. It's the same character repeated. Chop, 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 chop. So I think those are supposed to be connected. Okay. Oh, here we go, here we go. Morning, sir. Hot again. So
this morning is not too bad.
Really?
Not compared to
I'm
the last
sweating
few days.
already. Really, out there it's cooler.
Well, no, it's similar to this, but I can feel the air conditioning here.
Really? Up in your
Yesterday was
area,
much
then?
worse.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. I was thinking today was going to be a tough one.
Maybe later on, but right now, perhaps because it's cloudy. I don't know.
Okay. Good.
It feels nicer than yesterday, though. It's brutal, at least. Yeah.
How's the weekend?
It was good. Quiet. Nice though.
Quiet with that little I would say monster of yours, not in a bad way, but with that little monster of yours.
Yes.
Quiet, really?
Oh, it's quiet as a 2-year-old lets it be.
Did I mention to you what happened? They visited here, right? Catherine and Ren came. Was it last week, a week ago or so?
Yeah.
They were here went out for lunch and came back.
Yeah.
And you and I were here in the shop, and then she said it was time to say goodbye, and then they left, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you notice what happened at the end of it? I don't remember if you and I watched that together or if maybe you'd already gone upstairs. Whatever. I'm in the shop there near the back.
Yeah.
There was people in doing stuff.
Yeah.
She had said goodbye. She corralled him, left, and then they went down towards the station, waving as they left.
Yeah.
Disappearing to the left. End of conversation. 2-3 seconds later, chuk, 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 he comes running by to the right, escaping, and then 2 seconds later, she's chasing him. Yeah. Get back here! And then another 10 seconds later, back they go towards the left. Yeah. She's got him by the hand, It's so classic. I didn't know if you'd seen that or not.
He's a runner.
Obviously, been there, done that. I remember that stuff, So.
He always has his own ideas of what we're doing next.
Cameron's little kid, Ren, is just whatever. I don't get much time to see him at all, but every time I do see him, it's just like it's like a sun. There's this ball of energy. It's the classic like Calvin from Calvin Hobbes. It's this thing that's roaring around, bouncing off walls.
Yes. And, always running somewhere.
No, strike one. There's been lots and lots of conversation. Some of it directed at you. Maybe they'll come back to you. We were talking about the sound. I got the next video. Roll the tape back. Next video is ready.
Oh, cool.
20 minutes of presentation, 10 minutes of panning.
Okay. 10 minutes of panning?
10 minutes of panning, which has no sound. And it's just and it's dead air, and it doesn't work. And I don't want to narrate, here we have another picture. I don't want to narrate it. But I can't do just 10 minutes with no sound. It just doesn't work.
So record some cicadas.
You laugh, but I'm going to Oatmate tomorrow.
Yeah,
that might be a thing. If we can't come up with another solution, just put the recorder outside for summer sounds. So that's Plan B.
Yeah.
Well, Plan A, whatever. I got an old piece of ambient music that I downloaded from years ago. I can't use it, but I just posted it in as a placeholder, whatever, to listen to it. Whatever. And we're chatting about that this morning, and somebody in the stream here, I've already lost. It's gone up and up and up and up and up. Someone says, I can do that. I do that sort of stuff all the time, And then, so I guess he's maybe going to send a link. But also he mentioned, and again, I just got this, he mentioned what he would like to do is do some kind of track for us one day that incorporates the sound of the work, the printer's sounds and stuff. And I mentioned that you're already actually working on this. So anyway, so he may be writing to you or not, or whatever.
Laserflick Floor.
But this is up.
Showed up. He says, hi Kieran, that's me.
Okay. Yeah, over to you, baton touch, whatever. So
send me an email. Send me an email. That'd be great.
But as for the rest of it now, I don't know what to do. The video is ready, except for that 10 minutes.
Okay.
So what I did do when I finished it yesterday morning or the night before, is I wrote again to the young man who provided the music in the same environment for one of the previous videos we did.
Oh, okay.
David's Choice number 4, the Favorite Flowers book. And I had found him by going to a place called CC Mixter.
Okay.
Where people put up tracks and say, here, people, please use this, but give me credit, blah, blah, blah. I found one that looked good. It was called Night Rain. His handle there is Airtone, Airtone. Okay. I wrote to him, we want to use it, and we ended up paying a royalty, and he said, cool. So I wrote back to him this time.
Yeah.
Do you have other similar stuff that might be suitable? So I'm waiting for that. Other than that, I should have started this process 2 weeks ago because I could have edited that part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where it stands. The video is ready to go. The web page is ready to open. Maruku-san, who may or may not be here today, I haven't seen it yet, is standing by with his font files.
Ready to go. Excellent.
And it's all held up because I didn't prepare the music early enough. So. That looks like a blob. That's not part of a character. What is that? The character is here. What's this? Doesn't make any sense at all. It's a fly speck. No, it's okay. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, it's the back of that thing. All right. These have become separated. That's not a fly. So no, it doesn't exist. It's on my copy only. That is a fly speck. That is a fly speck. Can you pass me a pencil or something from my box of stuff that you stole? Here, good. I've saved disaster here.
Yeah.
This black dot here, this thing, I'll just put a mark against it, isn't, that black dot there, isn't in, it's the space right here. It's not in there. So it is, I thought, look at that. We have the moo character, then the foo character. We have the moo and the foo, and there's a space in between. Good. I avoided putting egg all over my face by carving a fly speck.
Yep.
Wonder how many I've carved all the way along here. Well, it's okay. If I've carved an extra speck, I can cut those off later. Yeah, if I notice.
Right.
Classic carver makes an idiot of himself move. Just carving what you see without thinking about it. Just cut the shape, cut the shape, cut the shape, cut the shape. In that video this time, I was criticizing those old carvers who carved the early A, B, C. Right? Yeah. So.
But to them, they were just shapes.
Yeah. Something else about this video camera sound. We can talk about this, I think, without embarrassing me too much, whatever. I said the editing is done, cut and finished. I put temporary music in there. Yeah. So I've played it back a couple of times. And in fact, I played it back, did some edits, went back to the movie, re-rendered. It's the best way rather than uploading it really quickly.
Right.
Watch it. We found that same thing with some of yours, so watch it. So I've done this. I've been through 2 or 3 cycles. Oops, no, that's too. Oh, I forgot to cut the background sound there. Blah blah blah. So I've got what I think is a good finished tested render. So last night before I went to sleep, I was down here. I was staying in the cool down here instead of going upstairs about 9 o'clock. I came back from dinner. I thought, okay, Dave, let's the back room here with the print party room. You put the lights off, and I can put the computer on the stand, and I can sit back on the bench. And it's like a little tiny movie theater. Yeah. It's a pretty small screen, but it's okay, pretty much. So I filled the screen and I started playing it, and I sat back on the bench and leaned back a bit. And I've had dinner, I had a good big stein of beer, and I'm like sleepy, it's the end of my day, whatever, and I start watching it. And I watch it, trying to watch it with a critical ear, and I yawn a bit, okay, so whatever. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I had actually fallen asleep there. My movie is so boring, I fell asleep the whole thing. But what I do remember is that as I was watching it, ready to make mental notes about what might need to be changed, I thought, Dave, how could you have screwed this up so badly? You're talking so fast. Relax. You're just I'm going to have to go back to square one and recut this whole thing all over again because you're just talking too quickly. Yeah. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a sore back lying on that bench, remembering, oh crap, the video. I'm going to have to redo the whole thing. Anyway, leave it for now. Went upstairs, went to bed. Got up this morning with the same memory. I've screwed up so badly. So I clicked it again this morning to listen to it, and it's fine. David is speaking normal pace. He gets excited a bit, and then he goes back, steady, pauses. It's okay. Yeah. And I realized that as I was falling asleep,
you're only catching bits and pieces?
No, the way our time, like we talk about an insect moving quickly, we think they must see the world moving very slowly, something like this, the way we perceive time. Yeah. And this, I had an interesting experiment. As I was falling asleep, my own, we know it spaces out and slower and slower and slower. So the outside world was seeming faster and faster and faster and faster. And I'm 67 years old and I have never noticed this. But here it was because I fell asleep watching myself talk at me. I can now see this.
He fell victim to his own ASMR.
But no, 67 years, I didn't know this. Do you know this now? That in the few moments we're falling asleep, there's a time distortion taking place and the outside universe seems to be going on fast forward. There it is. I've discovered something new. Nobel Prize.
Recording camera says you did seem tense that filming day.
Yeah, the first cut was awful. Yes.
Just anxious getting it ready or something?
I don't know. There's so much to do, you know? I mean, it's simple. There's the camera, the mic, the lights. Okay, that's simple. But there's 1,000 details, and any one of them that's wrong this setting, that setting on the mic that has to be different from this. Where's the slider? There it goes. This one. No kink in it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all the other jobs, the setup jobs, the pre-pro jobs, the lighting job, and then I'm supposed to sit down and be ready. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm not complaining. That's I'm not saying you should be here to do this. Even if you were here, we would still be doing it together, and it would be the same thing.
Threatening to set everything.
Yeah. In some ideal fantasy world of mine, we would pre-plan these. Dave shows up here at 8:10 next Friday. I walk in and the studio's all ready, and you guys, the team, have got this all ready. I've spent the last half hour in the green room, slowly thinking and, what am I going to say, and getting ready. I come in and sit down. You guys okay? All right, let's try a couple of takes. Let's do take one. And I'm relaxed, and we can do this in my fantasy world,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. I shouldn't complain about it. So. But it wouldn't be the same Dave. It wouldn't be the same thing. It would probably turn out to be too polished or something. It wouldn't have the comfortable, personable feel that it has this way. So don't get grumbly, Dave. Don't grumble and complain.
Wild Omelette says, I'm always amazed Dave is 67.
As in only or already?
I think.
We had one of those moments yesterday in one of the print parties. It was me and Nakamura-san Kawai-san.
Okay.
And one of the customers during the break or something said talking to me, gestured to her, is this your wife? And actually, Nakamura-san's okay. She doesn't get upset about that. Other staff members, some of the girls, there's one in particular, really gets upset when that happens.
Yeah.
Nakamura-san I forget what she said. She snapped back at him. I forget what she said, but marry him? You got to be joking or something like this. Because she's tough enough. She's confident enough and tough enough to just blow it away.
Yeah. That's great.
And it's sort of, is it an insult to her? Either I look a lot younger than I do, or she looks a lot older than she does. That's not the thought. I think it's quite common for an older guy to have a younger wife, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny, though.
Well, she laughed, just blew it right back at me. Then after they'd gone, actually, she and Kawai-san and me were chatting about this, laughing again about it,
Yeah.
And then I looked at Kawai-san and said, why don't they ever say that about you? And I realized I probably shouldn't have said that, but and he's like, why don't they say it about me? Or she just sort of, I'm not here.
Yeah.
So,
Not a bad suggestion. KP, make a written checklist like pilots use.
yeah, I think we've actually talked about this too. It might take a bit of the stress of it. If I can calm down, don't worry about it, Dave. Just go through
Do I have
the
items
list. Check.
1, 2, 3,
Yep.
4.
By the way, get a drink and relax. Do I have 6, 7, 8? Oh, there we are. Yeah, this is a good idea, and maybe even at one point in the future, let's maybe even think about perhaps we should try doing this. Anything to keep the plane from crashing, right? Is that the idea? Is that... Pilots do it, surgeons do it. Actually, speaking about that, there's I had an experience last night. I've got to chat with you about this, Cameron. A young man came in here last night. He may be listening now. No, he's been listening to the Twitch stream. A young man who, Australian, I guess. He lives in Tokyo here.
Okay.
Permanent resident. He had seen on the website that we're in a staff Boshu looking for staff. And he came in to chat about opportunities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later off stream.
Okay.
I know it wasn't that much of a serious conversation. He just dropped in. I wasn't ready to do a job interview and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But whatever, we chatted about different things and stuff like that. And one of the things he was mentioning that, even if we weren't looking for permanent or whatever, blah, 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 because he was a little bit familiar with what we've been doing on Twitch, he said, yeah, maybe one thing he could do was perhaps get the video stuff set up for you, blah, blah. He'd asked about that.
Oh, okay.
He's just a little bit, what can I do around here, looking around the room, and he'd seen the Twitch stream, so, and maybe one day I'd mention it, oh, geez, I just got it barely set up in time for the stream today, blah, blah, blah. So he was sort of thinking about things he could do, I could maybe help you get the Twitch stuff set up and things like this. His name, I've got a card, there's a postcard. It's underneath the carving toolbox there. Oh, okay. And he'll either be writing to you or dropping by next week, and we can chat about it. That's his name, yeah. So. Yeah, very personable young man. He's probably, as I say, he's probably listening to us right now. Call him out. Hello, Joe. If he's maybe typing. If you're here, say hello or something. So.
Is there a show and tell today? People are asking.
Is there a show and tell?
It's not even 9 yet, so we don't need it this second. But they're wondering if there's one.
Actually, I was going to quickly say no, there isn't. But we got a package the other day. I'm not sure if I should show it. Because I don't quite know the background yet. Okay, remember, this, a few minutes before we close, let's show this. It's not a wow, cool, fabulous, look at that print. Oh my God, Dave's collection is so wonderful. It's one of the ugliest, most bizarre parodies of a Japanese woodblock print that we've ever seen. But I have to be careful what I say about it because I think I know where it was made, but I'm not quite 100% sure. So you get, anyway, let's maybe,
okay.
Let's not, whatever.
Think about it.
Yeah. It's super, super interesting.
So I see you're still working on the octopus print. How's progress on the
Because I talk too much. No. Just if you guys, whatever. I was doing fine before you got here, Cameron. It's all your fault, right?
I was just curious what's
That's it. This
is the next one.
This is the end of the main octopus calligraphy right here. Mm-hmm. And then once this is finished, there is the little patch down here, the young octopus who says, hey, Daddy, get out of the way. It's my turn. But having said that, we have another project done on the gift. We talked about the gift print.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know.
The block has arrived.
The block has arrived.
In fact, Twitch is suppose we talked about this. Twitch is holding on, waiting for me to get busy. I have the tracing ready to paste down.
All right.
I was thinking if we finish this, I might do this today, but it's clearly not going to happen today. It's going to happen on Thursday's stream.
Okay.
Thursday morning stream. Should we actually announce this, or I don't know? Whatever.
A thing. There'll be something interesting.
I have to get carving on this year's gift print, which is going to be something we are trying to blow the roof off. In a way, I can say that safely, right?
I think so.
We are trying to blow the roof off. And it has to go on sale October 10th. It has to be ready in quantities of X hundred copies by October 10th. And our printers are staggeringly overworked, overwhelmed. Will I be doing the printing on some of this? Maybe, I don't know.
Have you mentioned Jed's order on the stream yet?
I don't think so. Is that, I guess it
no,
is.
Just talking about the printers having a lot to do, then suddenly a lot more to do too, to help catch up with the prints he's looking for as well. So lots of projects going on with them.
Our single main customer for the Ukiyo Heroes prints, if customer is the right word, is Jed, of course. Jed sells at the Comic Cons both the Jiclay prints, mostly the Jiclay prints, but sometimes the woodblock prints as well.
Yep. And they sell online, of course.
And they sell online, yes. So all through him. We don't sell them online. Jed is the only distributor online. So. But over the past 6 months or so, he has known that we were short of printers, so as sort of a bit of way to help support us and not put pressure on us, he has backed off a bit on promoting the woodblock prints on his website and at Comic Cons. So he hasn't been ordering from us for the past, about 6 months.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's about 6 months.
Yeah. But he's now facing his autumn Comic Con season, and he's realized that he basically doesn't have any woodblock prints left. So he wrote an order to Cameron the other day for
a lot
of prints, which we don't have. So basically cleaned us out of all the stock of the heroes.
Yep.
And if we had a lineup of printers just sitting here waiting for work, it wouldn't be a problem. But we don't, because of the success of Jed's Japan Journey series, we don't have people to print Jed's Ukiyo Heroes prints. It's all his fault.
Yep. By supporting Jed, we can't support Jed.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all a good problem, is keeping everyone busy, and Jed's given lots of great designs.
It's worth emphasizing, he is almost single-handedly responsible for transforming the world of classical Japanese printmaking in the 21st century. Adachi has been trying it for years, bit by bit, with their projects of hiring or having contests to look for new designers and then making a print based on what they send in. They've been doing this every year for quite a few years now with government support money. But from my way of thinking, they get off on the wrong track. They do it as high art.
Yeah.
They try and make a limited edition run of 10 prints of the contest winner. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful object, maybe, if you like that kind of stuff. And it doesn't sell, and it doesn't help at all with providing work for carvers and printers.
Because they only do one batch, and then they're done with that project.
And it doesn't intellectually or emotionally help the genre move forward. Whereas the way we do it, with the cheap, simple, happy stuff, it moves forward in every frame. And that's what Jed brought to the table, and with our physical support, and of course, to actually make the thing. But it's his conception. Again, I didn't see this. I missed it. Even when he proposed it to me, I turned it down. I have to keep.
He was persistent.
But it's Jed. It was Jed's concept and Jed's imagination and Jed's persistence that made all this happen. So. And it's his ongoing ability to keep coming up with designs that people say, oh my God, I want to own that. And they open their wallets and they want to take it home. And that's rare in modern artists. Really rare.
Yeah.
So we can't say that often enough. People are like all over the place, oh my God, Dave Bull and his Ukiyo Heroes and stuff like that. It's not Dave Bull's Ukiyo Heroes, it's Jed Henry's Ukiyo Heroes.
Smallest Ant is in here. Hasn't been live for a while. It says,
it hasn't been live.
Or live chatting and stuff. But it sounds like he usually watches it in the morning because it's not at a normal time for people to be awake. Because I was really excited with the last stream and really bummed that I missed it live. I have one of those crepe paper books, number 5, I think, that Dave talks about during the recording. So it'll show up in the YouTube videos.
The last stream.
The previous one, the Saturday one, where you recorded the YouTube video.
Okay, I see.
Yes, I'm alive, Cam. Yeah, I know you're alive, but you aren't usually live in the chat.
Okay, I get you. And also, too, that's something else to mention here. I know before I turned the cameras and stuff on Saturday, I had remembered previous episodes where we are doing both simultaneously, recording for YouTube and streaming to Twitch. And there's some different microphone settings.
Yeah.
And the chat was busy talking about how I had prioritized the microphone setting for the YouTube recording. What I had tried to do on Saturday, I tried to do both. The audio that was being recorded was clean, simple audio with a setting for a good, reasonable gain.
Okay.
And too much for Twitch. So over on the broadcast software, I had cut the gain back.
Oh, okay.
Thinking that it would be no problem. And yet when I read the chat later, coming back to it, it was full of comments. Oh my God, it's crackling, it's buzzing, it's peaking, it's crackling.
Oh, really?
And I thought actually I had specifically set it back for just the stream, not affecting this one.
Interesting.
So I don't quite know what I'm going to have to try it again, a different setting next time. But I really did try and help you guys out by doing a setting there. I prioritized my audio recording for the video production, of course.
Yeah.
But I thought also I was getting it right for the stream. It turns out I wasn't. So one more thing to worry about next time.
One more thing.
Also, too, another reason why the YouTube didn't go up yet, even though it's not just because I don't have the music.
Yeah.
I've done the editing of the audio. And we have a new rule here.
Yeah. Oh, check.
We're never allowed to upload YouTube software without having
another set of views.
Younger ears. Just say it. He's trying to protect my delicate feelings. For those of you who don't know the backstory, whatever, I screwed up a previous video. It was full of hiss, and I didn't think so, but he thought so, and everybody else in the world thought so. But so this one needs to be checked. But I followed. I went to it. Oh, by the way, new Audacity.
New Audacity.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I uploaded to a new one.
Oh, okay.
It's the same core, but a bunch of the internal stuff has changed. And when you want to export an MP3, you can now do it internally from Audacity without going to get an external library and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So this time, I followed your steps that you gave me. The noise, not noise suppression. It's noise
reduction.
Something noise reduction. Yeah.
Doing some compression.
So I followed the steps.
Okay.
And it seems, again, with headphones, to me, it seems dead silent.
Okay.
Not a trace of hiss. Dead silent in these ears.
Okay.
Your mileage may vary.
Mileage. That's a word I've wondered. In American English, we say mileage because you get X number of miles per gallon in a car. Is there any? Do you say kilometerage? What? Do you just say fuel economy? What's the term for other countries that don't refer to miles?
I get you. You mean YMMV? Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
We use that shorthand even in countries that don't use miles but use kilometers. Just ride with it, man. Ride with it.
No, but I mean also just in car ads though. What do they say? Because
your fuel economy may vary.
Fuel economy.
I don't know.
No, not even that expression. Just the term mileage.
Most of the people here are probably Americans, so they won't know. The Europeans have all gone to bed. So
yeah. But just for the term mileage, what do people say? Because it's something. Oh yeah, my car's mileage is 13.
You'd have to say fuel economy.
Yeah.
So what else is that?
I don't know. That's what I'm curious about.
They talk about, the Tesla people are still talking about their mileage,
yeah.
blah, blah, how much mileage you get on full charge and stuff like that. That's because it's American-based.
Yeah.
I think mileage is a word that now has transcended the fact that it's based on miles. I think. That's the way, if I were the king of the world, that's the way I would use it, so whatever. And then at some point, granddads explain.
Yeah.
Did you know by what that means? Exactly. So you got to give us something to live for here. People like me, So.
Smallest answers: fuel economy or fuel consumption at 100 kilometers. So you're doing it the other way around. You say how many. No, that's right.
Fuel consumption at 100 kilometers per hour at a specific.
No, I think.
What do you mean?
How many liters are used to travel 100 kilometers?
Yeah, it's not fuel consumption at 100. It's fuel consumption for 100 kilometers or per 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
Okay. How much quantity of fuel to move that vehicle 100 kilometers? Yeah. But different. City driving and highway driving are different to show? Or is there an average
in the
out?
US too, they say city mileage and highway mileage.
Okay.
So we'll probably do a similar thing. Huh. Cool. In the Netherlands, we use kilometers per liter. Okay. But I think it's Portugal, is where smallest ant is, if I'm remembering correctly. But 5 liters to travel 100 kilometers. Cool. Interesting. Learn something new.
That thing about the granddad here knowing where the word mileage came from, and at some point the young kids don't know where it came from, whatever. I had a sort of an experience with this just the last few days. I've been writing back and forth to my daughters. We're going to be incorporating, right? So I've been writing back and forth to my daughters, talking about shareholdings for our company and do they want to get involved in blah, 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 blah. And it turns out my 2 daughters are both really so involved with their own companies. They basically said, Dad, don't tie us into this one, just leave it separate. Okay. And then I'd written back, okay, guys, good, that's fair with me, I understand. At some point, down the future, we'll have to sort this out when I'm, leaving or whatever, blah, 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 just coolly casually. And one of my daughters wrote back and said, Dad, why are you so sad? Why are you talking about these things? And she had picked up in my email a completely different mood.
Sense of sadness.
Yeah, and I was just mentioning that, whatever. And then that reminded me that there was a story, a book review in the New York Times a few weeks ago. Somebody's written a book, and it's about why the language is changing and something. And it's because internet. And that's the title of the book. No, the title is Because Internet. And just that structure, because noun, even I started to use this, I think, whatever it is. But anyway, in the review, it quoted a few parts in the book, and one part was really, really interesting for me. It made me read it twice and three times. There's old dudes who are communicating mostly by email, and then there's young people communicating mostly by thumbs, in messaging. You're in both worlds right now. I'm clearly only in one world. One of my daughters is clearly only in the other world. And it turns out
so she's dragged into it by you.
Exactly. And so it's dragged. And like the example given in the book was, do you want to go for dinner tonight? No, I don't want to go. Or no, I don't want to go, period. The two possible versions. And the version with a period is sort of, I'm trying to remember the book, it's more insulting. No, I wouldn't even think about going with you. I don't want to go with you, period. And just the presence of a period at the end of a sentence had emotional and communicative meaning in the sentence. And I'm like, what? A period means that's the end of the sentence. But here it is. There's two worlds, and they're growing farther and farther and farther and farther apart. And then the other one was the three dots. I had been for a medical check or something a year ago or something. The city office sends me the thing, you're 65 years old, go for the check, blah, blah, blah. So I had been for a health check, and I sent an email to my family email list, results of the health check, ... And then inside the email was, hey, I'm all clear, I passed this test, passed this test, passed this test.
But if you start with
in the title, I put results of the health check, ... My daughter back, Dad, oh my God, I had a heart attack. I thought, oh my God, he's going to confess to us that he's got 6 weeks to live yet. Because ... to her meant big news coming. To me meant just like, whatever, continued in the next line. And it's email.
Dave is a real ellipsis user.
Too much. I get it. I know. I'm an addict. Hardcore addict. I need a cure. Help me, doctor, please. I get it. I need
to remove the period from your keyboard.
No, have it set that if you try, nice. No, let it. You can hit it once, but have it set that you're not allowed to hit it 3 times in a row. That's programmable by software.
Not until you have a long wait.
The point being, I'm becoming separated from my daughters because I'm the email dude and they are real people, modern people living in the real world. So,
that's so funny.
But
it makes sentences so ominous, someone says.
But it doesn't. How old? I just don't want to talk to you. And that was it. Kumi had felt there was an ominous meaning. I just meant to be continued inside the body of the email, So I get it, whatever.
So funny. Sometimes I feel the need to use exclamation points and smileys in text, or people assume I'm upset or angry if they don't use those.
But are we talking about text messages, or are we talking about email here?
Yeah, probably text messages, instant messaging. I'm a compulsive smiley and emote user. Chat doesn't use a lot of twitchy
I can't bear that stuff. I'm sorry, I get it. I understand it. And in the early days of email, I would have used that too, because I had experiences in the early days of email that you had said something big, but with all the emotion distorted, it looked like a cold word. So I would have used lots more smileys back in 1996 and 1997 than I do now. But now we're all familiar with email. We're not so worried about it. We know that something that might look a bit cold is actually not so cold. So I
just conveying information.
I've dropped my use of the typed emojis much more. It'll come to you, Cameron. Ren right now is 2 years old, but when he's 13 and stuff, you're going to be in exactly the same situation,
That's true.
And whatever he will be using to communicate, you probably won't even,
understand.
Grok it. So.
It's true. Raj, my emails are written like letters, as that is what was being taught in the early days of the internet.
Okay, but can I ask how old is this person who's talking here? Because for me too, I try my emails. I attempt to make them grammatically correct and this and that, and I try to speak in full sentences, as though it was an actual letter. So for me, email and letters are pretty much the same thing. But I'm 67. I get it. And also, I'm a 67-year-old who has actively resisted messaging. Because I just cannot bear stuff tapping me on the shoulder and bothering me all day long. Look at me. So I can't bear that. So.
Iron Octopus says, I'm 28 and I do use full sentences in text messages. Okay. Rodson says 36.
So cool. Very nice. So, makes me feel better, of course. Not like I'm not such a dinosaur. But do you also use messaging then? Have you managed to separate the two things in your mind? Because you use both.
Yep.
But if you mostly email here, it's business letters, right?
Yeah.
And you have to speak. You're in business mode, answering your job. Dear such and such, thank you for your
what's up? How you doing?
Yeah. So that's a sort of a modal difference, not just a medium of communication. So there's more than one factor involved here.
Yeah, I use both. I have a chat group with my siblings and parents and stuff, and for that it's just, hey, here's a new picture of Ren, or we went camping this weekend, really quick.
But this is fun. This is chat.
So it's really quick. But if we have something longer to say, then we usually send emails to everyone in the group, so it doesn't eat the entire conversation where we're usually just sending quick messages back and forth.
I get you.
So emails are more long form for my family, and instant messages are just quick things.
Our family too, we have an email list, and almost none of them use it. I'm the only person that really actually sort of posts to it. So.
Makes sense. I'm 29, and I find it really weird when my manager sends me an email with a smiley face.
I get it. Which mode are we in? Are we in happily friendly mode, or are we in business mode?
Or are you my manager?
Yeah. So exactly. So I get it. That's some whatever modal confusion or something. There must be a term for this, I guess. I don't know. So.
We had millennia of evolution on writing just to get back to pictograms.
Yeah, maybe it was all a mistake, right? Yeah. So. But it's the next step in evolution that's going to be the real fun one to watch. When our machines can, we have text, we have speech to text now in rudimentary form. But when the machines we're using can understand what we're saying and put it into, will we be actually typing emails, or will I just say, computer, email the camera, please? We can do this now, but it's still a bit too clumsy. I've done this before. I was working with Dragon Dictate software on my Mac 15, 20 years ago as a fun experiment. Computer, hi Dave, letter to email to my mother, please, and then I dictate it, and it actually works. But if you jump forward to when that is completely, totally, absolutely smooth, instead of me, I got to write an email to Cameron, I can just dictate it. Do we then lose the actual writing? Because we're already losing this part of it. That,
physical.
And now the next step is we lose this because it's all verbal. And does that change the language in ways that it shouldn't be changed? Because for me, it's a different headspace typing a line of text. It becomes grammatically structured, and yet my speech is frequently not grammatically structured. And Trump and whatever is the extreme example of this, dumping ideas into the air.
Sad.
So when machines get smart enough to handle all of this, does that destroy the written language? It's a really open and interesting question.
I don't think I ever use the first draft of any sentence in my emails. I go back, erase, rewrite words and things. How do you do that with a dictated sentence?
Good, interesting,
You plan out everything and then now erase the third word in that sentence before. I'd rather type it.
For me, the reason now I try to go back and reread is because of the problems with my emails are not that my thoughts were scrambled, but it was autocorrect. I'm typing in the autocorrect correct.
I turned off autocorrect on this computer.
And I've got somewhere saying, I used to be a grammar freak, your, but the autocorrect gets the wrong one. Out goes the email. I'm saying, I didn't do that. It wasn't me. It was the autocorrect. Yeah, Dave doesn't know the difference between it's and it's. It wasn't me.
Don't blame me. Blame the computer.
Autocorrect. We loathe it and love it. It saves us so much time, but it causes so much problem.
Vivid keeping. I'm old. My stepmom is older. She uses abbreviations like "UR" for your, and it makes me cringe.
Abbreviation.
Look at your
the letter U and the letter R. I see.
Sorry, that wasn't clear because "UR" sounds exactly like the words it's replacing. use automatic captions. They work almost perfectly. Sometimes I've seen some horrible ones, but... Are we going to have a brief no comment show and tell?
Okay, what time is it, Cameron?
9:20 now.
Okay. So let me clear this one little patch I picked up. This just like this, okay. Well, I'd hoped to get to the end of this, but I just got sidetracked.
Sorry.
Too much.
It's all our fault.
No.
We blame you guys. Whoa. Some people around me are already mostly sending short audio recordings instead of typing.
What? In like a message program,
Yeah.
you open line or something,
Facebook
it plays
now lets
back?
you do that, yeah.
I do not want.
Then I have to have headphones or something. If you're on a
Everybody's
train,
gonna
how do you
hear
read
it?
the message?
Other people in the office or whatever.
Yeah.
Do not want.
There's an internet expression for you. Do not want.
No, it's not just an internet expression. What was I doing? Oh yeah,
Don't tell. Yeah.
No, tamp that one down immediately. Just kill that. Put a bullet in that one right now, please. Okay, we have some here. It says hand-printed hanga.
Yeah.
That's not the way it would be done if this was a Japanese publisher. We'd say Tetsuri Moko Hanga, and the suri would be a different
suri. Yeah, I was looking at that.
This is someplace from some other unnamed country.
Okay.
These are ukiyo-e reproductions being sold here now in the Japanese market. I had seen them I got these on Yahoo auctions. I've seen these on Yahoo auctions for the past few years. They've been making, somebody's been making reproductions of famous Japanese ukiyo-e, and they've been really quite high priced actually. Looking at the close-ups on the auctions, I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
Wasn't sure, but they've always been so high priced. I wanted to get one to have a look at it and see what's going on, just to inspect what is this? What's going on here? But this time somebody had unloaded. There was 7 of them, and it went for 2,600 yen. That's what it was going for. I think 2005. So I paid 2006 and got it because I want to have a look at these and touch them and feel them and try and figure out what is going on. That's all I can say about them. I don't know who made them.
Based on the kanji.
And the internal little sheet that's giving information about these, it's typed on a typewriter and then photocopied and typed on a Japanese typewriter and photocopied. It's on an old, what we call a wapro. This is what the Japanese things we put out myself back in 1900 or whatever. We had a sharp word processor, and this is exactly what the type looked like. So somebody's using one of those old word processors, or they made it years ago now, photocopying it. And the English, I think, is cut and pasted from an Adachi pamphlet. I'm not quite sure. It sounds to me like the old Adachi descriptions. I haven't taken the trouble yet to go and find the actual original in my collection upstairs. So the people who made this have taken an ukiyo-e print and reproduced it, and they've taken some information about prints and reproduced that. And what about again? My God, we've got to stop meeting like this. Hello. And the print, if we want to call it that, is it's a reproduction of a Japanese woodblock print by, what have we got here? Tori Kiyomitsu. And it's on some kind of paper that is sort of something related to washi paper. Not really. It's related to washi. I don't know how to describe it. It's extremely thin paper. And it's not done by doing the normal pigment and barren type rubbing. Well, there are pieces of wood. Yeah, this is another. They don't. Oh my God! How can I? Whatever. It's made in China. Period. It's made in China, and they have tried to reproduce an ukiyo-e print without knowing how ukiyo-e prints are made. Zoom out. Give me the whole thing for the minute. And in China, woodblock prints over the centuries were made with a completely different technology than they were made in Japan. The registration system that we use in Japan with the corners was unknown in China. They had their own system, worked for them. What they would do, if you get a piece of scrap paper or something here, okay. Without getting a long lecture, I'm trying to read. There's 2 tables. There's a table here. We're looking at this from the side, and there's another table next to it. Okay, you got this, I'm standing here. If a person was standing, they'd be standing like this. There's 2 tables. You get a stack of 100 sheets of paper, and you make the paper longer than what you want. Imagine stacking these 100 sheets up, and you nail it. You actually nail onto the table number 1 the 100 sheets of paper, which fall down into the gap between the 2 tables. Got the idea so far? Is it, should I turn this so that they're sort of, this is now turned so that you're looking at it. There's the ground, there's table number 1, and here's table number 2. Table number 1 now has a couple of nails in it with 100 sheets of dry paper, really super thin Chinese dry paper down in the gap. Let's draw this tabletop a little bit closer. There's a thin gap between the 2 tables. They now get one of the wood blocks and just stick it onto the table here. They used to use rosin, Matsumoyani, just pine rosin and something, just to stick it so it wouldn't move.
Yeah. They
then have their pigment and paste and stuff. They put pigment on this, pull the first sheet up. We start with the paper this way. They're nailed down, and we fold them all back up out of the way. Put the pigment on the first one, pull the first sheet up over here, rub it, and then drop the first sheet down into the gap, so it's out of the way. Put pigment on the block, pull the second sheet over, rub it, pull it off, drop it down into the gap. So you go through your 100 sheets of paper this way. Now it turns out that because of the way that paper curves around itself, sheet number 1 and sheet number 100 are on these blocks in a bit of different alignment, but it doesn't matter as long as you keep the same order.
Right.
Now you keep that nail down. You flip up your stack of 100 sheets, you get your next piece of block. And they're not using square blocks. They would just get a piece of wood, just enough for doing that water, carved as a round shape. You stick it on there with your rosin. First sheet doesn't work. Oops, move the rosin a little bit, move the table a little bit till it lines up. And then you go through your whole batch again.
Yeah.
So there's no Kento registration.
Okay.
There's no need for corner marks. The only reason a corner mark appears on this because the original they copied from was a Japanese sheet that had a corner mark. These guys are registered by having a pair of nails down here at the bottom of this thing, which then all gets trimmed off at the end of the day. Or maybe the nails were over here. This was done sideways. I have no idea how they did it. In fact, there's a bit of pigment smeared at the side here, so that makes me think maybe the nails were over here. No, anyway. But that's their idea.
The grades?
The gradients. And all of their brushing is done with brushes made of, you get it's like a sweeping brush. It's a bunch of fibers all bundled into a clump. I should have got some pictures and stuff to prepare. This isn't supposed to be a lecture about this. So they scratch the pigment onto the thing, and then they don't have a printing baron that we do. They've got a block of horsehair with a pine, a bamboo leaf wrapped around it, and they slide it across. It's a mix of the two. It way predates Japanese printing. This goes back way earlier. 1400, 1300, 1200. I have no idea. It's way earlier.
Yeah.
They did this long before the Japanese were ever up and running.
Yeah.
And the carving and stuff is whatever. It's just
unique.
Okay, good word. Thanks for helping me. Thank you for helping me. And what they've done is because the paper is so thin, you can't overlap the colors. So in a Japanese version of this print, the green would be in a whole area here, and the blue would overlap the green. Or the other way around, the green would overlap the blue because the blue is underneath the green. So the blue would go over the whole thing, and then the blue would be under here. You can't do that in the Chinese way because the paper is so thin. So they have separated. This is blue and that's green, and there's no overlapping anywhere in this whole print. Everything's been isolated. It's paint by numbers. Zone A, Zone B, Zone C, Zone D, Zone E, Zone F, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can see what they've tried to do it here. This comb has something underneath, and it's opaque pigment stuck on top of it, and it's just a parody of what normal printing should be. Anyway, I'm not here to sort of, whatever. Chinese printing in its own right can be beautiful and expressive and interesting, and Japanese printing in its own way. But to see a Chinese factory try and make a replication of an ukiyo-e print, it's just kind of laughable. I'm not sitting here, these stupid people. I mean, they're doing what they're doing, that's okay. Some people think my prints are laughable, it's okay. Just pointing out that for me, this doesn't work. The carving is clumsy, and why bother? And why bother? I guess because they're trying to make money. And out it goes, and it's now here in the Japanese market. And I imagine these are going to be in shops all over town, tourist shops, and your little tourist from England, whatever, doesn't know, and will buy this as a handmade Japanese woodblock print. And you can see it handmade. Wow. Handmade Japanese woodblock print. And these things are now out, they go into the market.
Yep.
And away we go. And Dave just, what else? All he can do is shrug his shoulders and say, ah, c'est la vie. Things are what they are.
Yeah.
And I have no lock on any of this. All I can do is just take care of our own work without worrying about what anybody else is doing. And if I was going to cry about how the thing is degraded, whatever,
yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just make our own prints. So. But it's funny. It's funny to see these and whatever. Things are what they are.
Indeed. Very interesting.
Whatever.
See what other images you have.
I haven't even opened them all yet. Here we go. There's another one. Oh, they've tried to put something on top. Look at this. There's a base tone for the kimono, and they've tried to print. Have they tried to put white gofen on top of it? I can't tell, but it doesn't quite work the way they're doing it.
I'm surprised. The color is actually pretty smooth, to my eye. The gray background color.
Because the paper's so thin. Oh my God, the paper is so thin. It's like tissue paper. And
got it.
The thinner the paper gets, the easier it is to make the colors, to fill. And the Chinese printmaking, in its own world, it's quite a thick, pasty color.
Okay.
It's in that sense, it's a bit similar to some of the printing that's done in Kyoto. They lay much more of the pigment onto the surface of the wood than you see in any of our videos. And that's a bit of a sadness to me too. We've got all our videos showing how Japanese printmaking is made. It's one specific type and genre of how Japanese prints are made.
Yeah.
And if I was sort of being more fair with the world, we would try and make a video about how prints are made in Kyoto and how they're made in China and stuff. But it's not my world. Somebody else can do those. I'll take care of what we're doing. But one downside of that is people see our videos and think, oh, that's how it's done, or that's the only way it's done, and stuff like that. And that's not true. Not true. So these are done with a much heavier application of pigment on the wood, and the paper much thinner, leading to an immediate depth that we,
Very interesting.
It's interesting stuff,
Yeah.
To someone like me, it's not beautiful at all. To the tourist in the shop down the street who buys this, my God, it's a wonderful little interesting handmade print, and it's fine. As I said, I don't want to be the world's keeper. Let's make our own stuff, but it has been interesting to see these.
Yeah. Cool.
Huh? What are you laughing at? So
shouldn't
tell me. Okay, don't tell me that.
No, what's the flask for? Saying, they used the bot command, diffuse the light. It's for growing algae.
Somebody changed. Okay, fair enough.
Somebody.
Actually, it's funny. I tried to wash it the other day.
Really?
When I was making a video, I had to take it out of the way for making a video.
Oh, right, of course.
So I put it out of the way. Then when I was cleaning back, when I was getting my desk put back together after the video, I thought, hey, Dave, it's my chance. Go to the sink and just swill it out. But it turns out I can't swill it out. I did. I dumped the water out and swilled it, and that stuff is ingrained onto the inside of the glass. I'm going to have to actually scrub this, get some gravel out there, some sand, swirl it around and do this. So I tried the other day, gang, to clean this. I was looking forward to coming back Monday morning, and people could say, oh my God, Dave has had a shower. He's got clean hair, he doesn't smell, and he's cleaned his flask, whatever. Well, 2 of those are okay, but I didn't get the third one.
That one yet.
So we will try coming to a stream near you.
Yep.
Soon.
Yeah, use bleach. Someone suggests. I think
no, it wasn't. Maybe, but
kill it. But getting it off.
This is now a mechanical problem. It's stuck on the inside of that glass, and I didn't have the tools required. It's easy. A handful of sand, a couple of small stones, swirl it around, and away you go. So just hadn't got around to doing it. Okay. All right. Okay. What's the schedule?
So
okay. I know. I'm off to Ome tonight. Absolutely. Rain or snow, sunshine. I don't care. I'm off to Ome tonight. I will be out there Tuesday, hopefully Wednesday. We will be back in with another stream Thursday morning for me, Wednesday evening for most of you. And I don't know what to say. It'll be finishing this yet, and then moving on to the next one if we can. Well, the block's no mystery. It's a piece of. It's a piece of boxwood.
Mystery image, then.
Yes, the mystery image. It's a piece of boxwood that is now going to come to life as our new gift print this year.
Okay.
Switch, Fridge, you just hang on for another couple of days here. Be a good supporter. Thank you. Cameron, sign us off, please.
Okay. See you later.